some time. I'm just reaping what I sow, so for sure. But no, that's just for me.
Welcome to Universal Wealth, Unlock Your Minds. Our normal attire is not here. Our background is not here because we're somewhere new, man. My co-host, Jason Beauvais. I'm Andre Pennington, attorney, investment firm owner, insurance firm owner, entrepreneur extraordinaire.
Everything,
P&C, mortgage, lending.
Hey, hold on, I gotta say something real quick though. I know we opened up, we're in some new place. Like, bro, like I'm super fired up to do this today. We're over. This is. I know you don't want to. You're like, hey man, I want to listen. But here's the reality. We're at your new spot, bro. Like we were joking off camera. I said, hey, you know how those guys go like they rent mansions and then they go shoot a film in it and then they're like, oh, and then they act like it's theirs. I was like, bro, this is yours, man. Like, dude, it's awesome, right? So
they gave me the keys. Like I have them in my pocket.
It was funny. You were walking up though, and I watched you by the door, and I looked at Shane, and I was like, I don't think he knows how to get in here, dude. Like, it's the first time over here, right? Like, yeah, first time in it. But I'm glad we did this tonight. You know, usually we shoot over in our studio, but I think this one's really cool, man. But there's a sentimental value, right? You know, before we all got on here, I was like, hey, turn around and look at this. Like, bro, like, look at it for a minute. Like, look again with me. Come on, bro. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's surreal,
dude.
It's surreal.
But what's funny is, what was it? 5, 6, 7 years ago. Right, you just put your head down grinding, and then you look up, and these things start to happen, and people are like, "How did it happen?" Well, I've watched the journey, man. And I know we're gonna talk about unlocking your mind, but I think I'm gonna interview you today. I thought about this right now. We're gonna do this way.
All right, let's do it.
I think it's good. So, like, honestly, man, stepping in here, you know, I know your son's in the room too. He's off camera today, but like, what's
get in here.
Come say hi real quick. Yeah, get in here, young man. Way taller than both of us.
You gotta. Come on down. Yeah, this is Jaden Pennington, my oldest son, just turned 18, licensed financial professional.
No big deal, dude.
Yeah.
Hey,
proud of you, bro.
Awesome, dude. But how's it feel, I guess? That's my first thing, man. Like, I don't know, you're not big on, you just put your head down and things come, but like, this is one of those moments. I told you, man, I was driving up when you were looking at doing it, and then it was like, cool. And then now this drive up, like, you know, I got to see the journey and it's yours. Like how does it feel? Like just the feeling part of it. How does it feel?
It feels good, man. It feels good to be capable of doing anything you want to do, right? If I put my mind to it, I know I can get it, right? But to me, it's like, it's bigger than just me.
Yep.
Like, when I decided to change my life, I had this idea that if I can do it, I can prove anybody could do it.
Yeah.
And I thought that everybody would come with me to do everything with me. But it's still proof that anybody can do anything they set their mind to. This is an impossibility from where I was sitting then.
Dude,
like
that's
zero chance, right? And through the help of God and through hard work, I built myself brick by brick to be the person that could handle all of it. And it's not me, but I'm responsible for the work. Right, and I just followed. So it's proof.
Well, I think it's important because, you know, obviously we're on here, unlock your mind. We're moving the mindset, right? And it's something that we always talk about, like, all the time, right? Like, and you just said something I think that people need to grasp on. Like, anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it.
Right? Like, it's not like, I mean, dude, you're pretty talented. I'm going to give you that, right? At certain things. But the reality is.
But I wasn't.
But that's the part I want to get at, because you always say this, right? Like, you can learn anything you want to learn, right? And if you really want something, you can go make it happen, right? And this is this obviously we're here and it's awesome. So I'm feeling the energy, man. I think it's awesome, right? I'm like, oh my God, you push like all the windows open, like it's legit, right? But it goes back to the fundamental principles. I watch you every day, and literally you do the same thing every day. You get up, you put the work in, the work over time, consistent work gets the result, and you know it turns into a lot of stuff. But one thing I want to ask too, like now, like for like the family, right? Like you got your older sons here, right? You got that going on, but then obviously you got from him, you got sandwiched with a bunch of girls. We'll talk about that another day. And then you got little man at the bottom, right? So you're like me, we got a big family, 6 kids, blended family, all stuff going on. Like, how do you feel, like because I know you know how the work that you put in, this thing just happen, right? I know we say it just happens, kind of comes with it. But what about for them? Like how, when you think of them being able to come up here, I saw your Jackson running around, like no idea. Has no clue what he's running around in. Like, oh, Disneyland, right? Like, and he's so young and innocent, but like, then you have an 18-year-old, then you have all the girls in between. Like, for them, what does this mean to you for them? For your family, your last name, how hard you work, like what does that mean?
I mean, it's a level up and it's a real one, right? It's not fake, it's not show. We're not renting anything, we're not stretching. It's just the way it is, right? And we're a product of what we're around the most, right? So when you talk about the girls, all I could think about is good luck to those boys in the future, man. Dude. I set the bar, man.
Set the bar.
I set the bar. Like, if you don't, you better have your stuff together, right? Because it's just gonna be their normal, right? And it's the exact opposite of what is a lot of people's normal out there, right? And I've experienced it all, so I could talk about it, right? Yeah. Right? Like a very confined space where a lot of people live in, like that becomes your norm, you accept it. Well, guess what we're doing? We're in the process of accepting all of this as our normal, right? You mentioned one time, like, why did you buy that Lambo? Because I wanted to have a daily driver that became my normal, that everybody else called a supercar.
Yep.
Like, that's my daily driver, right?
And you daily drove it into the car wash that you put the wheels in. It pushes it through and everyone's
I daily drove it in there,
yes.
man, because that's how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be my daily driver, right? So for me, what it means, like, Jackson will know no different than this. This is his starting point. Now it's going to be up to me to instill the work ethic, right? But I have a little bit of proof I could do that because of my older son.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think the cool part too is like I know you, right? I know how hard you work and what you do. Like, this is part of the process. So like, they're going to see that it doesn't stop here. A lot of people, like, they think this is the pinnacle, right? Yeah. And this is just part of what it is. So I think what's going to be cool that I know, and all of our kids know each other, and I think this is kind of, it sets like that level, like you said, this is normal. Now, here's the reality. It's normal if you do the things that we did. It's not normal if you just think you're gonna just walk right in this and get it. Like, it doesn't work like that. So I think that's gonna be cool. I keep joking, like, they don't know like who came in the neighborhood. They don't know what's happening right now. But then now obviously we run a huge company, right?
Right.
And all this I'm gonna tie at the end to unlock your mind, because I think it's important, because I'm saying this, first it's how do you feel? Because you had to unlock your mind to feel this. Now we talk about your family, what kind of impact's that gonna have? And then now we run a huge financial services company, we have an investor firm, and there's all these people inside of that. Like, how do you feel, what kind of impact, and how do you feel for them being able to see, because a lot of them watched you coming up, right? Like, they've seen it, right?
Yeah.
So how's your feeling towards the people that are inside of our organization that are dreaming for something like this? What's your feeling towards them, or what's some message towards them?
It's proof. It's proof you can do it. That's what it is. It's proof, if you put your mind to it and you're willing to do the work, that you too can accomplish it. Like, I had one of my guys hit me up and congratulate me. So he goes, wow, this is amazing, and this and that. And I forgot he knew me before the law firm.
Yep.
He knew me before the group homes even, right? We met at that moment where I was like, yeah, I'm on leave without pay. I have no paycheck anymore. I'm going after a dream. And from that snapshot to this, right? And that was what, a span of 12 years.
12 years.
12 years. So it can be done. And just hear me, I said 12 years. And I work hard, you know? And the idea is I held the vision, and every piece of hard work I did, that vision was behind it. And I didn't use my own vision. I used the vision of God that he was giving me to put behind it, right? And this is a gift, literally to me, from him.
A fact.
Right?
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just proof. Like, it's proof. It's also proof that everyone can do it, and not very many are willing to put in the work.
Talk about that for 1 minute. Because it's true, like, that's the separator is, if we all know everyone can do it, level playing field, and all it is the work, right? That's why listening to what we do on these shows, we've gone over it. Get out of your comfort zone. Like, the stuff you're gonna hear, doesn't matter whether you listen to us or you grab a book. And it's funny, you said something so good on Wednesday. You said, You're not going to learn this by reading a book. And then, and I read the book. Sure, guys, line 27. That was the reason, right? Like those are guides. Those unlock a part. You read something in a book, it should unlock your mind. And then you have to actually go do the work. And I think something I want to talk about today on what I think you're sitting here, because I've watched a lot of it, is you took that part serious of working on you. Like, bro, like to the point, and you can get as deep as you want on today. I'm talking about it, but bro, like you self-analyze, like I have destructive behaviors in certain areas, and if I don't fix these things, like I can never go get the rest of stuff I want to get. And I think everyone wants to read the book and then work on the outside world stuff, like easy stuff. Like no one wants to go turn the book and realize the book's talking to your inside. Everything we're reading is talking to you in here, and if you don't go overcome that, you can't get here. Now you can get here, like let's be real. If we both came from loaded parents, they could say, oh, here, and then they're here. But the way you got here, the only way from where you came from was you had to have that self-realization and grow yourself. So I think we're talking about being here in the moment, but that's what I've watched you do. And even since the time I've met you, this was 12 years ago. I met you, 6-7 years ago in that time frame? And actually, let's be real, that was like a reset button. So this all happened.
100%
This
reset.
happened, for what I know, in the last 6 to 7 years. To me, you were like in the G League. You weren't that good yet.
But the failure's part of the journey.
That's it.
That's the thing. I start back there because I started building something. I felt like I had success. And like you said, the book says you're going to run into adversity and you cannot give up. Well, everything's now gone again.
Yes.
Right? And I did not give up. I just started where I was standing with the new skill sets and the new experiences. Right? And that's just part of life. Like it happens to all of us.
Facts.
Like that will not be the last adversity that I run into. But when I say impenetrable faith, what I'm talking about is understanding that there's a plan that's already written. And if I do the work, I will get there. Now, we like to think it's like this, right? Unfortunately, it's like this and a back around and questioning myself and then it's all of it. And you're in the pressure cooker and you have to start to learn to love the pressure. You have to understand, like, I am built for this. Anytime people get concerned for me, I will always tell them, I'm built for this.
I'm built for this.
And I am built for this. I am built for the war. I'm built for the good times. I'm built to lead. Like, you can rely on me. It's inside of me now, right? And whatever's popping in my mind is right now is like, there are people always like, they're like inviting themselves to throw a party in my house. I'm like, there's no reason for celebration. This is a very normal thing that happened in life. We will celebrate when the big things start happening, right? Like, we're not celebrating buying a house. That is a very average thing to do, right? There are other houses up in these hills, by the way.
Yes, there are.
Right? And lots of people do this, right? So that's what I mean by the mindset. Like, my mind is clear and concise on what it is we're doing here. This is purchasing an item, and that's it. We are just beginning.
Well, what's crazy is you just said this, right? Obviously, you're driving up, there's houses. I mean, this place is beautiful, right? It's all over, right? And at some point, someone in their life said, this is the life we're going to live. Somebody, you knock on the door. Hey, bro, it was you. Hey, what's up? What's your name? Hey, someone eventually in the family lineage, and we do these shows to one day maybe hope that you realize it's actually supposed to be you. You're waiting for something else or think it's someone else, but it's actually you. So if we went to everywhere down, we just went straight down this thing, that person decided to say, well, we can keep doing this, but I'm going here.
Yeah.
And now, what kind of people are they? Everything else? Well, I say we like I'm living in the house. We'll find out about the neighbors. Don't worry about that, right? But my point is, like, someone makes a decision, and dude, I sit here, and for me, dude, I guess, like today, I was like, man, what are we gonna talk about when we get up here today? And I'm like, man, like, I could sit here and give all these tips today, and I know we got them all in our brain, but bro, like, as much as you hate this, the reason I'm making this be your moment, because this is your moment. And I know it's a thing and an item, and I know how you're built, but I'll keep asking the question. I won't get in there today because I know this, because bro, like, I know your story. Like, I know how you grew up. You've talked to me about it. And when you talk to me about it, like, another human comes out and it goes back in because of what you've been through. So I know the steps are easy, but most people won't do it because when it gets hard, we want to pull back inside. So I look at this and I turn here and I say, all right, you just gave me I'm borrowing this. All right, this is cool. This is awesome. I can see another level. So now my brain can't unsee this.
But that's the key.
Stay with me. My brain cannot unsee this. I know I'm supposed to be talking to the camera. I don't want to look at you. I want to look at this. I cannot unsee this anymore. I'm going to go home and pull to my driveway and be like, holy shit, I just saw something awesome. And here's what's cool about it. We happen to be business partners.
Yeah.
So now I get to do with someone in proximity, right? And here's what I want to say. This is my point on the whole thing, and then you can finish up what you want to say. Like, bro, I drove up here fired up for you. Like, I pulled in the driveway. I'm like, this is going to be my spot. I'm just trying to find where I'm parking at my boy's house, right? And your son's like, do I pull in the driveway? Yeah, you actually get the driveway first. I have to come behind. I'm parked behind your car, right? But I'm pulling up, and I'm like, man, like, this is the new normal when I got to go see Dre. I got to drive up a mountain. Always, I better have gas in my car because I got to roll backwards. Right? I got to come up here. And it's funny, me and Shane are talking like, you might want to landscape the dirt. We're just having fun, right? But my point is, this can't be unseen anymore.
It's out.
The vision has been stretched, right? And once your mind starts to stretch, you can't, it's like you can't put it back in. So I just think in life sometimes, you know, we're inviting you guys to come part of this Unlock Your Mindset journey and family and thing that we're moving and all we have. We talk about being real and all this other stuff. He has to leave here right now and go see some desert lights. Right? He's got to jam out of here in a minute, right? He's going to have to go take care. He's got a family running, and I heard he had to get jackets. He's like, jackets? How am I supposed to get jackets? Right? Like, oh, it's all this glamour and fame. No, bro, you're going to leave here, have to drive back down that damn hill, go to the desert lights, deal with your family, come back home. But dude, like, you've done something that if the people that are listening to our show and following us and start to really get behind us, like, you got to stretch their vision for a moment. Now, maybe they don't want to live up here and do a house, but there's something they want to do. There's going to be something.
Hey, real quick, though.
Go ahead.
They won't know until they get there. People are always quick to say, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that.
Fact.
I would never. You'll never. Like, you know, people told me I would never drive a car like that. You know, well, we'll see. First, you got to get the money to have the option.
That's it.
Right? And you don't know. You don't know who you're going to be. I know who I'm going to be. I'm sitting here like, I know what you're doing. Like, I get it. I get where I came from. I get where I'm sitting. But I've actually turned into the person. I am the guy.
That's it.
That can hold all of this. I am that guy. So for me, it's just another day. I'm not messing around. I didn't, there's no celebration. I bought a thing, and what we talked about recently was, what's the mission we're on?
Boom.
To solve financial illiteracy. That, we haven't made a dent in that. So what are we celebrating?
Not one dent.
Like, the Pennington family has figured it out. I'm one human being, right? I'm showing you there's keys out there. Somebody who it wasn't possible. I'm talented now, yes. I was not talented back then.
Yep.
I knew nothing back then. I knew self-destruction, self-devastation, and I had histrionics in my family that sort of led me somewhere else. And I had to reconstruct myself to head in a different direction and be willing to put in work. And now I look talented because I put in the work. I read the books, I studied for the tests, I got A's on the tests. I became an attorney, I learned the law. I did financial services, I learned what it is to do it. And then I decided I want to understand the advanced stuff, and now I know it. And this is a byproduct of all of that work, right? And yes, I'm sort of happy, right? But I do not see a cause for celebration, because as far as the eye can see, we're traveling all the way down into Phoenix. What about everybody on 7th Street, 7th Ave? Like, what about everybody who hasn't figured it out, and we're trying to make a dent in that? So my view is looking at my people, and I'm telling them, you can get here if you put in the work. If you can get the vision and just 1% better every single day, and then you can be up in the hills with me, right? That's why I'm not happy.
That's actually happiness. I know it comes out. Listen, I got it. That's how I was waiting for. I know listen, I know what you feel, and that's what I wanted. Listen. So we're not gonna pop bottles and have champagne and run around.
No, there's nothing to celebrate.
But think about it. That's this. This is what I'm trying to say. They'll get it. This is one snapshot of the show. Don't worry, we'll shoot more from here. And I want to end on this part for me. And seriously, listen. I said what I just said. We're gonna turn this camera off. He's gonna drive back down the hill. Gonna run over and go do desert lights, right? Listen, you can have all this stuff and not get into all the fake glam. Look at, no, we're being serious. Like, I know there's a spot in him where there's still happiness, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna see us next weekend throwing people jumping off the top of this thing, chandeliers, everything going on. Like this, you can live this life and be exactly who you are and have every single thing you want in this life and not have to put on this facade or this thing. Like, dude, like, we're two regular dudes that care a lot about people, right? And it's funny because people say, oh, and I joked with Marcus, like, man, how'd I ever live down there, right? Like your brain. You know what this means? Someone now is going to walk up to you in this area and say, oh, let's have a conversation now because now you're in this kind of house. When they could have walked up to us when we lived right there, which we still have homes over there, by the way, lived right down there, and we could have got the same information. To me, what this means is that you excel in life, you have two options. You either do what he's saying right now and stay humble and understand that the mission's not even close to being over, or we get here and we forget everything we just came from and what we built, and we start throwing parties and have everyone come to us and say how awesome we are. That's what I wanted to get out of you, that I knew was there. There's a level of, this is just a stepping stone that anyone can have, but at the end of the day, I said this, I'm gonna say it on this thing. For me, bro, you're a badass attorney. The best I know. And that's not just because we're homies. That's like the truth. Like, you work harder than anybody I ever met. And what's gonna be funny is everyone's going to find out who bought the most expensive house in Buckeye to date, which we both didn't even know after the article. Don't even say you knew that.
I didn't know it.
The article comes out, right? And they're gonna come up and realize one of the most humble dudes in the planet, that all he wants to do is give back, is standing at the top of the mountain. And God's got a plan for that to be the reason. And when they walk up and say, who did that? And when they realize that your office is on the second floor right there in this town, and at the end of the day, I promise you, you will dominate this entire area like you've done everything else in the right way. And I'm blessed that you're the first one up here for Universal Wealth to make sure this is gonna happen. You're the man for the job. We appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, tune in, get around us. This is just the beginning of what we're building, but it's not about us. Everything he said is what you can do to come run with us. Don't idolize us. Don't try to be like us, because we're some badasses. It's kind of hard to do that. But don't try to be like us. Come run with us. That's what we're looking for.
Hey, I want you to pass me up.
There it is.
That's when I'll be happy, when we've given the keys and somebody takes those keys and they're up on the higher part of the hill.
No, I already figured it out. All I'm gonna do is get a ladder. And I'm gonna put a baby tent on top of the roof, and then I beat you. That's it. All right, you guys have a good night. Dude, that's good. All right.